It's time for the JNewtz Political Fucktard Awards of 2022. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, I'm JNewtz. Welcome back to the channel. Before I get started, do me a favour, do yourself a favour, click subscribe and ring that grey notification bell so that you know every single time that I make videos. Now, let's get into this. Over the past few years, we have seen some staggering performances from our political leaders around the world, and so I thought it was time to present the Fucktard Awards for the top 3. Now, before I get into those top 3, there are of course some honourable mentions. In 6th place we have Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister with the best 2 letters of any name, Mr. BJ himself. Boris Johnson is not only the most scruffy and fumbly bumbling Prime Minister that Britain's ever had, but he has made people like Margaret Thatcher look good. And let's not forget, she was the person who also fucked Britain in the 1980s. For some reason, Britain has started to form a tradition of having leaders that want to fuck the country. But of course, he hasn't done the worst in the world, and that's why he's down the bottom at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is, of course, Joe Biden. Now, the reason why he is in this list is because, well, let's face it, he's just absolutely fucking useless. Useless as a president, and seriously, the biggest joke that America has right now on every single TV across the world. I don't need to tell you what Joe Biden is like. We've all seen all of his speeches where he starts talking about one thing, and by the end of one sentence, he's talked about 3 things that have got nothing in common with each other, and it's filled with So there you go. So whilst he hasn't exactly done hugely stupid things compared to some of the other people, he does deserve to be in 5th place for his personality and the fact that he is still pushing an agenda which doesn't need to be pushed. Scraping into 4th place, and it really was a tie almost between 3rd and 4th, but in 4th position is Trudeau, the leader of Canada. He is such a harsh dictator type of person that currently 1.4 million Canadians are storming Parliament demanding his resignation. Now, if you want to see what he's done and how he's done it, well, the documentation's all over the world, but at the moment, if you've got 1.4 million people lined up in front of Parliament House demanding your resignation, and they're not going home, they are going through days and nights of all weathers. If you've got that many people hating you, well, it's time to fuck off. So a well-deserved 4th place, but like I said, almost neck and neck with number 3, which is the Prime Minister of Australia, Mr. Scott Morrison. He takes out the bronze JNewtz Fucktard Award for being literally a huge fucktard. Not only did he screw up the vaccine rollout in Australia, he basically said to the entire country, I put my trust in my state leaders. And by doing so, he let the state leaders do whatever the fuck they want. And now that it's coming up to election time in a few months, he's being severely grilled. And Australia, quite honestly, doesn't like him very much anymore. Is he going to survive the 2022 elections? Well, personally, I don't think he will, but time will tell. There are a lot of stupid people out there who will vote for stupid people because they stupidly think that they've done a good job. So he does belong in number 3. Well done, Mr. Scott Morrison. Give that man a round of applause for taking out the bronze medal. Coming in 2nd place with silver is Daniel Andrews. That's right, the current Premier of Victoria. Now, if you have been watching my channel for a little while, you will know that number 1, I live in Victoria, and that number 2, Daniel Andrews has been the topic of many of my videos, and maybe a parody song or 2. There is no need to go into exactly what he has done because he has really shown the world what a cunt can be, what a dictator can be. He has really ruined the economy here in Victoria. He has locked down Melbourne. People have suffered mental health. There has been more people dying through suicide because of mental health and loss of income, loss of livelihood, than there has been through the virus. And through all this time, all he has ever basically said is, in a political way, deal with it. Get on the beers and deal with it. And this virus is so deadly and I'm going to stop at nothing to make sure that everyone is protected. He has gone above what really needs to be done. And I don't mean that in a good way. And recently, not only did he announce that will he potentially make the 3rd shot, the booster, mandatory for everybody, but he is already hinting at mandatory 4th and 5th boosters. Where does it end? We don't know, but I think he is in a well-deserved second place, so well done for taking out the silver JNewtz Fucktard Award. Last but not least, and coming in a well-deserved first place, taking out the gold Fucktard Award from JNewtz is Mark McGowan. That's right, the Premier of Western Australia. Isn't it kind of ironic that the top 3 people in this little award ceremony here are all leaders in Australia? What does that say about this particular country? Anyway, Mark McGowan won the 2021 state elections, and of course, for that reason, he is still the Western Australian Premier, and he is in gold because he's the type of man who makes Daniel Andrews look like a saint. And that's why Daniel is in silver place at number 2. Because Mark McGowan locked his entire state, which is the biggest state in Australia, he locked the entire state down for 1 or 3 cases. So that's the first little thing. But he has ruled with such an iron fist ever since. He has basically said to people, not only is it no jab, no job, he has gone a step above that, and he's even saying things like, if you are not vaccinated, you aren't allowed to leave your home. Recently, he's also said that if you are not vaccinated, you can't even visit your child if they're in hospital. Now, I'm sorry, but that's fucking inhumane, and that really proves that you are just a huge cunt. Yes, under his reign, we are seeing that Western Australia is bringing in the broadest and harshest proof of vaccination laws out there, where if you cannot prove you've been vaccinated, you are not only denied from hospitality and gymnasiums, but also things like hospitals and even bottle shops and takeaway food. That's right, you can't even go to McDonald's without proving that you're vaccinated. You can't order a pizza without proving you're vaccinated, and you can't even go out, buy a bottle of beer and get pissed unless you prove you are vaccinated. And how long are these dictatorial, tyrannical type of rules in Western Australia going to last, you might add? Well, according to Mark McGowan, it's going to last for years. That's right, 4 years. He has openly said that this could last quite some time in Western Australia, and he will definitely roll out his mandated 3rd boost when he feels that his state is ready for it. So anybody who is living in Western Australia or wanting to travel to Western Australia, be prepared to go through a lot of shit for a very long time. Now, that could also happen over here in Victoria or any other parts of Australia, but Mark McGowan has made it very clear that this is going to last quite some time. If you are living in Western Australia, if you do not like what Mark McGowan is doing, and if you would like to see the back of him, well, sadly, you need to wait until 2025 to vote him out. Because let's be honest, if we've learnt anything from the past 2.5 years, it's that no amount of public scrutiny or protesting is going to make these fuckers resign. So Western Australia, sorry, but you're stuck with him for another 3 or 4 years. And if you voted for him, that's your bad luck. Do me a favour now, leave me a comment below. What do you think of my top 3 and indeed top 6? Is there a leader around the world that you think to yourself, well, hang on, JNewtz, that person really should have been in the top 6? Do you agree with the bronze, silver, gold ranking that I've given those top 3? Or do you think I have missed out on somebody even better entirely? Whatever your thoughts, I want to hear from you. Don't forget, Censored is coming up in less than 2 months' time, so click on the links in the description below, visit our website, grab your tickets. You are going to absolutely love that show. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel, ring that great notification bell, and remember, don't be a fucktard. Victoria, the place to be. More like the place to flee. But what are they going to say on the Western Australia plates? Western Australia, we're fucked!